Guys, we're gonna be making mashed potatoes. My potatoes are all boiled. You see their sauce, so I'm gonna go ahead and drain them. All right, just in case to leave a little bit of water. And so we're gonna add some butter. I boiled them with some olive oil and some salt, so I'm gonna use some of this unsalted butter right here that I have. Yeah, I think this one is unsalted. So we're gonna add some butter. And I was thinking about doing chicken stock instead of milk. So I think I'm gonna use some chicken stock, some butter, and then some seasonings like the garlic, parsley, black pepper. I got my chicken stock here. I went ahead and put in some butter. We have the stove on low, okay? And I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of chicken stock, and I think I'm just gonna do a little bit of coconut milk. So I poured in almost a cup, leaving half because I'm actually gonna use this for the fish that I'm making, and I'm gonna pour the rest of the chicken stock into here and make 2 cups. All right, so now I have 2 cups. I'm gonna come over here, okay? We have our stove on low. Now I'm just going to pour half of it in first. Okay, just half, and then I'm gonna start to mash them and then see if I need more or not. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm just gonna set this here to the side. I'm going to that potato. All right, so now I'm gonna add some salt, some garlic, some parsley, some black pepper. Black pepper, garlic, because I love garlic. It ain't seasoned if you ain't sneezing. And I'm gonna add some garlic salt, some parsley. Oop, that's enough. Now I'm just gonna turn my stove up a bit, just so we can get this to a little slight boil, and then I'm gonna turn it right back down on low. Now, while I wait for this to come to a little quick boil, I'm gonna go ahead and cover this with some foil and set this in the fridge because I'm gonna use this for the fish I'm making tonight. All right, you see we get some bubbles going up in here. I'm gonna just go ahead and gently mix this together because I like my potatoes a little thick. But I want that coconut milk and that chicken stock to just cook down a bit. So we're just gonna bring this to a little boil and then we can turn it off. It smells delicious. All right, so I'm gonna put this on low. Low. And I'm gonna cover it. Just say it's gonna pop, 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 pop. So let's cover it. All right, so we have this covered, and I'm gonna let this go like that for about 5 minutes, and then I'll turn it off and give it one final stir. In the meantime, my fish has been soaking, so I'm gonna go ahead and strain this and leave it in the strainer so all the excess water can kind of just like dry up. Voila, let that drain. Now that the boil has calmed down, I'll take the cover off, and I'm gonna let this boil down some more, just for like another 5 minutes or so. All right, in the meantime, while this is percolating, I went ahead and put a pot here to warm up, and then I'll get some oil in there because we're gonna go ahead and get these plantain fried up. After I load the plantain, I'll reserve that oil to go ahead and fry up my onion, my garlic, my pepper, okay? All right, my pan is warm, so I'm gonna go ahead and add some oil. I have the plantain cut up. You see, not a lot of oil, not a lot, okay, really not a lot of oil, just enough to kind of coat the bottom. Now, I'm gonna smash these when I'm done frying them, and I'm gonna dip them in some lime and garlic, so I need to work on that. Chicken on our potatoes, you see the liquid is almost evaporated, so I'm gonna let this keep going for a minute, okay? I squeezed 2 limes in here. I'm gonna use just a splash of vinegar, a pinch of salt, and I'm gonna put some garlic in here. Our oil is warm, so I'll go ahead and add the plantain. All right, move those around a bit so they don't get stuck. I'm gonna go ahead and chop up the garlic and then come back to these. And I have this stove on low. It's really hot, so it's on low. Mashed potatoes are looking good. I'm gonna let those continue to boil. All right, garlic is all chopped. I'll add it here with the lime, the vinegar, and the salt. All right, we're gonna go ahead and flip these. Okay. Because these are gonna go back in after I smash them, dip them. All right, so we keep letting these do what they do. Okay. All right, back to these potatoes. You see they're looking good. So I'm just gonna give them a mix and they should be good to go. And there we go. So I'm just going to let these bad boys sit. I'll go ahead and turn the stove off. I'm gonna leave them uncovered though for now, and I'll cover them later. All right, let's keep an eye on these plantain. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start taking these out, okay? And I got my parchment paper, my rolling pin. I'm just gonna smash them a little bit, dip them in here, back in the oil they go. Okay, okay. Voila, this one got myself a little bit, but that's okay. And so I'm just gonna throw it in there, give it a little bath. Oop, it broke, that's okay. And right back in the oil it's going. Same thing. Mashed potatoes looking good, no more bubbles, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the lid on. Just gonna continue to let these fry on low. Now in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and tend to this fish, get it nice and seasoned. Use the same parchment paper, got paper towel. I'm gonna go ahead, put my fish here. Just add it. All right, so I patted my fish and I have it in a clean bowl. I'm gonna get some green seasoning and I'm gonna get the seasonings that I'm gonna season the fish with. All right, so I'm gonna use some green seasoning, some fish soup mix, some onions, some garlic, and then this right here because I'm just loving this. And I'll probably use this as well. And a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, we're gonna throw in some Old Bay too, just to help with some coloring, but this is what we got so far. I'm gonna throw in some Old Bay. All right, our fish is all rubbed in and seasoned up. We're gonna let that sit and we're gonna go ahead and flip these now. It's smelling lovely in here. Alright, let these bad boys continue. And in the meantime, we'll go ahead and start cutting up our onion, our garlic, and our pepper. Alright, so there we have our onions, our garlic, and our Spanish onion pepper. And as you can see, these bad boys are ready to go. Alright, these are out. Let these sit. I'm going to go ahead and put this in here to let that fry up. Alright, I'm going to let this percolate. And then I'm going to get my other pan going for my fish. Alright, I'm going to let this get nice and hot. And then I'm going to add the butter with a little bit of oil. And then I'm going to sear my fish. Alright, my pan is hot, so I'm going to add some butter and some oil. Alright, got my butter and oil in here. And then we're going to add our fish. So now we have our fish. Add that. Then I'm just going to move them over a little bit so I can fit them in there. Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll get ready to add the coconut milk and the chicken stock. Give this a nice mix, bring this to a boil, and then we will add in our spinach and our Parmesan cheese. Let's go ahead and flip this fish over. Look at that. Oh, oh, oh. It's popping. It's popping. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let this cook for maybe like 1 more minute, and then I'm going to turn the stove off. Over here, just waiting for this to come to a boil, we're going to pour the rest of this into this mixture. I'll just keep that piece of garlic for good health. Don't worry, we'll be cleaning up. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Now I'm going to go ahead and season this with a bit of slap your mama, some thyme, and some cumin. Okay, still waiting for this to come to a boil, and once it does, we'll add in our spinach and Parmesan cheese. You see, I have moved our fish to the back because I do not want it to burn or overcook. I like everything well done, but I'm going to move that off the heat because this will go into our cream sauce. Now, because I'm extra, I'm going to put a little bit of honey on top of this fish, and I'm going to put it in the broiler for 5 minutes. Got my glaze for my fish, and I'm going to put it in the oven 5 minutes. All right, we got bubble action going, so we're going to go ahead and add in about 2 handfuls of spinach, and I'm just going to put the rest of that Parmesan cheese in there. That's 2 handfuls. I know it looks like a lot, but once it all blends down, it's fine. And as you can see, our fish is bubbling. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off and take it out. Look at that. Looks lovely. Looks lovely. Let's go ahead and give this a stir. That going in there. Get in there. And I could have chopped this up, I'm sure, but I didn't feel the need to do that. See, they're already going down, 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 down. So we'll go ahead and get the cheese. Again, we're using Parmesan. Alright, we got our palm in, and so we're just going to cook this down, let that get nice and good, and then we're going to add the fish on top. I'm gonna lie, y'all, I didn't like how it was looking in the pot. It was too much liquid, so you know what I'm going to do? Improvise. I put a little cornstarch. I'm going to put this back on the stove and let this boil down. I'm going to blend this and then add it. Now let's try that again. Okay. Now I'm going to let this do what it do while I wash these dishes, and then I'll add my fish. Okay, this is looking more like something here. Alright, I'm going to leave this open, and I'm going to put my fish in here. And let that cook down, and that's it. And you have it. It did not turn out the way that I expected, but it's food, and it tastes good. So, here it is. Fish with spinach cream with mashed potatoes and plantain.